Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own custom belt wrap, specifically for a 98-02 F body with the ATI Procharger setup. But I'm also just going to be showing you the install in general, getting the blower on and everything. So we're just going to dive right into it. So here we go. Okay guys, so it's a very simple procedure. I did not actually do this, but if you had the machining tools, you could definitely do it. I had my buddy down the road do it for me. So essentially how it works is on these brackets you have a standoff, a hex standoff, and on this one for the F bodies there are two, and basically one down here and then one, I forget which one, but it's in one of these upper holes. Now what you can do is cut down one of the standoffs and also make a shim. So my buddy down the road took a piece of aluminum round stock, cut it up, and then just cut it up on the lathe and then smooth it out and everything. We got to where it was just under what we needed it to be, so we just used a washer to close that last final bit. And then we just cut this standoff down so it was in equal height to the standoff that wasn't cut. And we made sure they were even and everything, so it should be good to go. And it has just enough clearance on the bracket to be in line with this pulley here. Okay guys, so we're here underneath the car, and as you can see we have the camera focused on the alternator bracket area here. And so essentially what I'm going to be doing is using the alternator bracket as a mounting point for the Procharger bracket. It actually uses those hex standoffs that I showed you to make the space between the bracket for the alternator and for the Procharger. Now it mounts using two long studs that go through these two main alternator bracket holes, and then it also mounts through the alternator pulley, not the alternator pulley, but the idler on the alternator bracket up here. Now the spacer that's used for this spot right here, I believe, depends on what year style alternator bracket you have. Evidently GM did a revision on these. I think I have the later style because they don't sell the old style anymore, but in the later years of the LS 1/4 gen F bodies, they made a revision to this design evidently. You want to make sure that you have the right bracket and pulley, otherwise the old pulley won't be compatible with the new bracket, vice versa. Alright guys, so as you can see I've got these standoffs on there. The fit is kind of interesting. Like this one feels pretty tight. This one, it feels like it doesn't want to tighten much more, but it feels like it has a little bit of space, just barely, that like I can kind of just wiggle it a little. Hardly noticeable at this point though, but I'm afraid to tighten it anymore because it's getting pretty hard to move and I don't want to strip anything. But it's sturdy. It's definitely not going to go anywhere, so I'm not too concerned about it. But we're just gonna get to putting the bracket on here. But first I want to say, while you can see that there's definitely not a lot of light in here, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you would know that this part of the garage doesn't have any lights yet. And so I've actually been using this really awesome cheap little light from Amazon. So this light is from Powersmith. It was maybe, I want to say like 20 bucks on Amazon, and for the money, man, it puts out some great light output. Definitely good for working in the shop here, or in the garage I should say, where it's very dark because there's no lights up yet. So there's actually going to be a link in the description below. That way if you're interested you can buy one of these for yourself. But we're going to get back to it. Alright, so getting all this stuff on can be a little bit of a pain, so my plan is to put everything, as far as like the pulley goes, on there immediately. I'm going to get very little bolt feed from this, but it's better than nothing. Just because of all the spacers and whatnot, I could probably use a slightly longer bolt. Actually, I'm going to see if I have any first. Alright, so I'm just going to use the original style bolt. I'm just not going to put a washer on it. Not exactly the preferred method, but it'll have to do. And it's actually going to be really hard to get it just because of getting everything lined up, and there's a lot of weight trying to hold in one area, keeping all these, keeping everything aligned. So what I'm going to do is just hold it on there and get it over this standoff. That way I can at least bolt it up later. And then I'm just going to try and get the upper standoff bolted on through this bracket. That way I can get everything else tightened up afterwards. Alright, so the bracket's pretty much on. Just gotta tighten these down. I was using the wrong side of socket. Makes sense why it wasn't tightening. I wasn't even paying attention. And I was like, man, did I strip these? No, I was just being an idiot is what I was actually doing. Should be able to knock this out here though. This pulley doesn't sit flush against the stud, and so what you either have to do is just kind of tighten it down, and even if it moves around, it's not a big deal, just because of the way the pulley's designed. But if you really wanted to, you could get a sleeve of some sort that just barely doesn't fit in, tap it in, and just make sure that the inner diameter has enough room for the stud to slide through, and that would keep the pulley centered. I didn't do that, but you could definitely do it, and it wouldn't be that hard. I just didn't really think it was that necessary or anything.
Right there is how it looks though. So there's the idler pulley slash, you know, custom belt wrap pulley.
Alright, so this is where it gets fun. Time to get this blower up by myself in the dark. Alright, so I'm going to have to reclock this thing, and also for some reason the mounting bolts that I have are not working like they should be. So it's getting back to the drawing board for a little bit. I'm going to have to check this out and see what is going on here. But at least you can see that the blower is on. I mean, it's going to probably have to come back off just the way things are going here, but hopefully I can get this figured out. I don't know why the bolts that I have, that I believe are the originals, aren't going on properly. They're just not seating all the way in and leaving space between the bracket and the blower so I can move it. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's gonna have to address it in some way. So we'll see. All right, guys. So the blower is pretty much on. I'm just gonna have to do some, fine tuning on it, making sure everything's lined up properly, like I said. But just going to be doing the intercooler here soon, as well as the fuel system. You're going to see all of that, and then we're going to get it on the dyno, and we're going to see what it can do. So y'all take it easy, have a good one. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be posting some more content here every week. So stay tuned, and hopefully you guys enjoy what you see. Take it easy, have a good one. I'll see you later.